Hey guys, Eric here at the Bethlehem Golf Club. In today's video, we're going to talk about hitting longer drives. Now, let's dive right into it. What we're going to talk about in this video is really two things you can do, and we're going to talk today about the downswing and follow through. The first thing is with your lower body. The second thing is with your upper body. You're going to see in a minute here an analyzer, some good visuals. But when you look at players who hit the ball the longest, you notice their legs into the follow through extend or straighten the most. You should be either consciously or subconsciously straightening your legs into the follow. That should be happening. If that's not happening, you need to consciously think about that. Straightening the legs, raising the belt buckle into my follow through. So the legs straighten, belt buckle up and forward. That's the lower body motion. You look at anybody who hits the ball far, they do that in their follow through. The second thing is upper body. Long drivers of the ball keep their head back as they throw the club forward. They keep their head back behind the ball as they throw the club forward. Those are the two key pieces to focus on. Let's hop over to Analyzer, show you what I'm talking about.
Let's take a look here at Rory McIlroy and Justin Thomas. Justin Thomas on the left, Rory on the right. And really what I want to key in here on is the three things, right? We'll say really two to three things here that both of them demonstrate so beautifully. And I picked both of these guys, because you can see the movement patterns very easily. But also they're guys who hit the ball really long and hit their drivers really far and straight, and they're not the biggest guys in the world. Now, if we pause here, what do you see commonalities amongst these two? I know you might be looking at it thinking, heck, I can't keep my body, or get my body into that position, but can we get closer to this? What do they do that enables them to swing the club head that fast, hit the ball that far? The first thing is the straightening of the legs. And so everyone wants to talk about and get into the legs flexing or bending the knees in transition, and for good reason. That's not what creates the power, right? What creates the power is the extension of the legs or the pushing out of the ground. Now, certainly, the more you push down, the more you can push up, so it's part of it. But where the speed comes from is the pushing out, right? It's the reaction. So watch his belt buckle and how his belt buckle will get higher, which means his legs have straightened, right? How does your belt buckle raise? You straighten your legs, right? So as he's working forward, he's straightening his legs. His knees are getting closer together. Now, does he do that with the belt buckle staying pointed towards us with no turn? No. His belt buckle's turning, so his belt buckle's up and forward. Straighten your legs, belt buckle up and forward. As he's doing that, does it look to you guys like he's holding on to that club at all? Not to me. It looks to me like he's throwing that club. You get maximum speed. That club head is fully released, arms extended, heads back. But the three things here are straightening the legs. We'll call it two things. Straighten the legs as the belt buckle's up and forward. He throws the club head with the head back. Those are the keys to bombing the driver, regardless of your size. Straighten your legs, belt buckle up and forward. Let the club throw with your head back. Now, if we look at Rory here, obviously they look very similar, and his pattern he's going to do through the impact zone is going to be very similar, right? His hips are here. His hips are going to raise through. How do you raise your hips? By straightening your legs. The belt buckle is not pointed towards us. He's turning it towards the target. He's letting the club head throw with the arms extended and the head's back. So there's two motions to learn there that we're going to talk about. We'll cut that in half, right? Part one is straightening the legs while turning. And part two is throwing the club with the head back. That's what these guys do to hit the ball a lot farther. Let's talk about how you can too.
Okay, so there we saw fairly evident JT and Rory, two guys who hit the ball a mile. They aren't the biggest guys in the world, like a Bryson DeChambeau type of guy, but yet they hit the ball so far. How do they do it? Those are the two key moves. Now, how do you do these things, right? Okay, Eric, I see that, pretty evident. What do I do? Well, I would start with the lower body piece first. How do you straighten your legs into the follow through? You straighten them, right? There's nothing tricky here with this. You can notice there when I drew the line on the belt buckle, how do they raise their belt buckle? Well, your belt buckle raises, or your hips raise, by straightening the legs, right? So that's it. Now, as I'm straightening my legs, when I take my setup, my knees are bent some amount, I'm gonna lose that bend in the follow through. The other thing I'm gonna do is turn. So my belt buckle, as I straighten my legs, you notice when they do that, they don't do this, which some of us do, right, at the ball. They do, as they're straightening their legs, their belt buckle's towards the target. So they're extending and turning, pushing this up and forward into the follow through. And I would start with the driver with this and just start short and slow. You're gonna feel like as you start your downswing, you're gonna straighten your legs and turn your belt buckle up and forward. So let's just do a little kind of half one here. And that's gonna be my starting point. So how do I know if I did it or not? I video it, but I also can look here into my follow through. Are my legs as straight as I can get them? Is my belt buckle as high in the air as it possibly can be? And are my hips fully turned towards the target? No weight there on my back foot. That's what I would start with here, right? Now, let's do one more. So I'm raising my belt buckle and I'm turning at the same time. That's the key point. I don't just straighten my legs in towards the ball. I'm straightening my legs, pushing my belt buckle up and forward. So again, just a little bit of half one. Straighten my legs, belt buckle up and forward. And I'm gonna check my same thing with my follow. Do I feel like I'm fully lengthened? Is my belt buckle high? And am I fully turned? That's the first part. Now, that might be all you need, right? You might just do those pieces and that might get you more distance. The more you keep your knees bent forever, hips back, not turned, the shorter the ball goes. The straighter the legs, the more up and forward the hips, the longer the ball goes. Now, you might do that and let your head come too far forward and bend your arms too much, which is the shorter hit. We saw with them, their head stays back and they let the club head throw. Now, maybe you separate these two, maybe you can do them all by yourself. So what am I gonna feel with that? I'm gonna feel my head stay back and I'm gonna feel like I let the club head fully extend into my follow through. So the club head's as far away from me as possible. The butt of the club's as far away from me as possible. I'm not holding on to anything so I don't get a flip. I'm letting that go, letting the club head throw out towards the target. So head back, club head throws. And that's what I'm gonna feel as I work into my follow through. And again, what I would do first, if I'm looking to practice this, is record myself, check my legs. Can I keep it as simple as straighten my legs? That's it. And then I'm just noting, oh, maybe I'm not turned enough. I've got my right hip too far back. Did I get all the way there? Or see where my head is in space. You need to be able to keep your head behind the ball through right side bends, your right shoulder's lower, as your hips push up and forward and turn. That's the general idea here. And again, as they do that, those arms fully extended away. So legs straighten, belt buckle up and forward on swing one. That would be my starting point. And you might do those, and if you pump 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out there really long with that, start with that. But also monitor the head motion from face on. Draw a line up your lead side. You should see that head working away from that line a little bit when you come down. Those are pieces you should do to hit your drives a lot longer. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. If you liked the video, do us a favor, click that like button down below. Really helps us get our videos out to more people so we can keep making videos for you guys here for free. Click that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. If you do like these YouTube style videos, and this in particular, we're gonna put a recommended video on the screen here for another YouTube style video. If you would like more coaching, we'll put a card on the screen for cogornogolf.com. Would love to see you there.